Welcome. So we are doing instant pancakes today. I'm gonna try and leave the phone in that position because that way you can see. So if my head ends up being cut off, pardon that. So we have everything prepared, mise en place. I'm not very good with this camera. Everything is ready and prepped to go. So these are our wet and dry measuring tools: a ladle, a whisk, fork, spoon, and necessary ingredients. So obviously having everything in place is going to make your cooking experience a lot easier. Having our recipe readily available and somewhere that we can actually see it, that way you can check off each item that you've gone through. So, a pen for that. Obviously, being prepared is essential to working in a comfortable space. According to our recipe, we are going to preheat our pan and add a little bit of oil, just enough to coat as per the recipe, probably about a teaspoon to tablespoon. They say just to coat until it runs smooth. So you don't want to overly do it. So we're going to start. Hands have been sanitized. Everything has been cleaned, and that way it makes it for a nice experience. Okay, so first, these are our dry measuring tools. Okay, so we're going to scoop out our mixture, pancake mixture here. We are looking for 1 cup. So it's always easier to scoop it out, because sometimes when you are trying to scoop it in and just coming in and dipping out, sometimes you can form air pockets and your 1 cup is not actually 1 cup. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take something smooth and we're just going to wipe that off. I'm just going to do it in the bag here. That way I'm not creating too much of a mess. Give it a little tap, make sure everything is even, wipe that off again. So we have 1 full cup, which is what the recipe calls for. So in our big mixing bowl that goes, that one's in there and done. Then we have 3/4 cup of water. So this is actually a fun tool. This is a wet measuring tool this way, and then if you push it down this way, you use it for dry measuring ingredients. So kind of fun. So with this one, for your wet ingredients, you want to make sure that it's on a flat surface. We are looking for 3/4 cup. We're going to find that, and we're going to pour our water up to 3/4 cup. And we've got just a little bit too much in there. Okay. So again, back to a flat surface. Make sure you can see where you need it to. Perfect. We're going to pour that in with our mixture. We're going to whisk that up. So now that we've done both of those ingredients, we're going to check that off. That way, if we're forgetting, we know where we've left off. So this whisk is great. We can work through the consistency, make sure that there's nothing that we haven't mixed or combined. And it shouldn't be too watery. That's why you want to make sure that you pay attention to the recipe. You do not want to deviate from the recipe. Okay, that one's done. We're going to set that aside. The recipe calls for 1 banana. So a separate mixing bowl for that. And then we're just going to break it down, and then we are going to mash our banana. These pancakes are going to be so yummy. I feel weird, my head keeps getting cut off. I can't be a cameraman and a master chef as well. All right, so you want to make sure you work your fork through make sure we squish that down. Okay, I think that's great. So the whisk, we're just going to put away in the sink. We're going to scoop this in. Okay, let's put that over in the dirty section. So we're just going to mix everything together. Make sure all your ingredients are well combined. And all while this is happening, our pan is heating up. And you never want to go too far from where your heated workstation is. So a great way to be able to tell if it's ready is you'll see the oil run freely before it actually starts to burn. That's why it's great to make sure that all of your ingredients are prepared so that way you're not running behind.